Alright, so today we're going to do SAT Math, and our topic is going to be about functions and relations. So, in this topic we're going to talk about the different types of, well, not the different types, we're going to talk about functions and relations and how they're completely different, and how you can test if something is a function or not a function. So, let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about what a relation is first. So let's write out a formal definition. A relation, it is a set of ordered pairs. So what I mean by that is, let's say we have this graph. We have multiple points here, 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 and here. These are all relations. This right here is a relation because it means it is an ordered pair. All of these, every one of them. These are related relations. They are ordered pairs. They don't describe anything about the graph we're drawing, but it tells us that any point here is an ordered pair. Okay. So now let's go on to a definition about what a function is. Okay. A function. A function is an equation that describes, well, a function is a relation that assigns exactly one value in the range to each value in the domain. So I think showing an example would be easier. So let's write this out first and then show an example. Is a relation that assigns exactly one value in the range to each value in the domain. So let's think of this, a function, as an input-output machine. So let's say this is our function, y is equal to 3x plus 4. What we mean by domain is this right here is the domain. This tells us what value we're going to put in, and this here is our range. This tells us what our output is going to be. So when I mean domain and range, you can think of it as input and output. So a simpler way to explain this definition would be to think of this as, for every input there can only be one output, which means if I put the value 2 in this equation, I can only get one value in the output. I can't get multiple values for the output. If I do get multiple output values for that output, this wouldn't be a function, this would be called a relation. Okay, so this will make problem solving a lot easier. Now let's talk about how we can distinguish a function from a relation. So let's say we create this graph with waving lines. One way to test if this is a function or not is called the vertical line test. So what you do is you make vertical lines stretching from wherever you want throughout the graph. If there's any point where one vertical line is intersecting the graph twice, that's when you know this is not a function and is a relation. So let's talk about this in colors. So the yellow lines are our vertical line test, and the purple is our equation, our graph. So if anytime the yellow intersects the purple twice in the same line, this would not be a relation. So I'll give you, this would not be a function, this would be a relation. Let's give an example of a relation now. So let's say we have a similar graph, except this time we're going like this. Let's do our vertical line test. Okay, so right here we see that there are 3 spots right here where this line the vertical line test intersects our graph. So what this means is that this equation is not a function, this is a relation. So another example would be a tabular method. So let's say you're given a table of x and y values. You're given 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And you get 1, 8, 2, and 6. I just made this up on the spot. So when we look at this, we see that there are 2 inputs for 3 and 2 different outputs for that same value. That means we know that this is not a function. This is the easiest way to know if a equation is a function or not, making an input-output table or looking at the graph and doing the vertical line test. So the 2 ways we can test these is if we use the vertical line test or an input-output table. So now let's do a few problems to see if we actually understand this concept. Alright, so let's do a few problems right now. Alright, here we go. We have a few questions we can try. So the question is, are the following functions or relations? Alright, let's go down to question number 1. So let's zoom in a little. Alright, so question number 1. Is this equation or graph here a relation or a function? So to test this, we know we can try our vertical line test. Let's do our vertical line test. So is there anywhere on this graph where the blue line intersects the purple line multiple times? No, there is no place where that happens. So this is a function. Alright, now let's go down and do number 2. Number 2, we have an input-output table. So let's find anywhere that we have 2 x values giving the same x value giving 2 different y values. 1 gives us 1, that's fine. 2 gives us 6, that's fine. 3 gives us 8, that's fine. 6 gives us 8, that's fine. 8 gives us 7, that is fine. Remember, don't get confused with this part right here. Sure, the y has same values, but that doesn't matter. If the x's had same values, that would have been a problem. Okay? Keep that in mind. So this is a function. Let's go down to our 3rd question. We have this equation, this graph right here. So so to do this, let's use our vertical line test. That was awfully bad. Let's redraw that line. Okay. So, is there anywhere on this graph where we have the yellow intersecting the green multiple times? What we do right here and here, here and here, here and here, here and here, and here and here. So we know now that this, since it's intersecting it multiple times, we have 2 x values. We have the same x value giving 2 different y values. Therefore, this here is a relation. And that's it for this topic, guys. Stay tuned for the next video and have a great day.